the wildest finish to a Dallas Cowboy game I can ever remember, the craziest finish under the circumstances I can ever remember. Go check it out if you want real, raw emotion of the moment. But now that I've had a night to sleep on it, I'm here to tell you I'm actually horrified by what happened yesterday as a lifelong diehard Cowboy fan, because my worst nightmare, my greatest long-term fear, is that Dallas will get on some kind of a late season roll that will allow Jerry Jones to justify keeping "Please drop the Mike McCarthy" for yet another season, and I can't bear the thought of it. Mike McCarthy should have been fired after last season's playoff-ending debacle of a loss, the embarrassment, the humiliation of a loss to Green Bay in the home playoff game in which the Dallas Cowboys trailed 27-0 before halftime. I can barely say the words. I still haven't processed it. I still haven't put it in the right place. I still have PTSD over that loss. And then all the many home debacles and nightmares and humiliations that we've experienced this year. I don't know why we've been much better away from Jerry World as we were yesterday. But just to frame what happened yesterday, once again, Mike McCarthy did not have his team ready to play yesterday against your historical arch rival at Washington. It was another nightmare of a game for me to watch, but fortunately, Washington danced with our devils that we brought to Washington. Washington actually was a partner in the nightmare. As I said on the live, we couldn't lose for winning because Washington wouldn't let us lose. They played as sloppily and poorly and haphazardly as we did. And the result was, it was 3-3 at halftime, thanks to special teams blunders on both sides, thanks to blunder after blunder on both sides, thanks to, in our case, we had 3 big drop passes at key moments. Brandon Aubrey, the greatest kicker ever, I've now put quotes around it, had his first field goal blocked, not all his fault, but it was just a little low off his foot. He actually somehow pushed a chip shot field goal to the right and hit the right upright, so he missed a field goal. We got a punt blocked. We had 2 or 3 key penalties at key moments, one on the rookie from the University of Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton, at left tackle, that negated a big gain, big completion by Cooper Rush. We had a blunder to start the second half when Brandon Aubrey, the greatest kicker ever, managed to hit one so poorly, so nonchalantly, that it didn't make it to the landing zone and gave Washington the ball at the 40-yard line. We scored 34 points while going 2 for 11 on third down. But here's the punchline to a game that we weren't ready to play. We somehow led 10-9 going to the fourth quarter, and the final score was 34-26. It's impossible, because the truth was that 41 points got scored in the last 8 minutes and 11 seconds of the game. And here's the worst. Here's the anti-Mike McCarthy point of the day. The Dallas defense in the fourth quarter gave up 223 yards to Washington. Jaden Daniels struggled the whole game. I don't know if his ribs are still bothering him. I don't know if it's Cliff Kingsbury's offense that finally they always catch up to Cliff Kingsbury in November and December. It's happened everywhere he has been, college and pro football. It's why his record isn't nearly as good as his reputation. And I do think he's worked wonders with Jaden so far. But Jaden has really struggled throwing the football for the last 3 games until the fourth quarter yesterday. And I'm not sure I'll ever quite get over the hail Jaden moment with 21 seconds left when he throws a ball that I thought would be up for grabs to McLaurin, and it was right on time for him to actually run under it and bolt through the Cowboys secondary, and it was like nobody wanted to tackle him. You going to get him? No, well, no, you get him. No, you get him. Nobody got him. And he's off to the races. I'm saying just somebody knock him out of bounds. All you have to do, the game's going to be over, just knock him out of bounds. And he scores. And then as I went crazy on the live yesterday, Austin Seibert misses the extra point. Guy I used to root for, school I grew up rooting for, the University of Oklahoma. He was the Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Year in 2018 at Oklahoma. He's got the Washington record, 7 field goals in a game, and he's coming back from injury yesterday after missing a couple of games, and I don't know what happened, but that happened. He missed the extra point. It was a bad snap. He went quick. He duck hooked it, snap hooked it left, and then we caught the onside kick, Wanye Thomas, and returned it for a touchdown. The second kick we returned for a touchdown in the last 8 minutes and 11 seconds because obviously with 2:49 left in the game, Kavonte Turpin, the best returner in football, so I do have the best kicker and best returner on my side, went 99 yards with one that he fittingly muffed. Doesn't it always happen? He muffed. He had to turn around, pick it up at the 1-yard line. He wheeled back, and then he hit him with a 360 spin, the likes of which I haven't seen all year. I'm not sure anybody in this league can do that. That 360 spin just inside the 10 that left them in the dust, and he hits a crease out to the left side. The flank is uncovered, and he was off to the races. And I thought that was going to be it until Hail Jaden happened. 223 yards in the fourth quarter, we gave up. So of all the Washington-Dallas games I have watched, and I've been watching them since I was 10 years of age, it was the poorest played Dallas-Washington game in the history of the rivalry on both sides. I don't have enough time. I could keep you the rest of the day telling you all the things that went wrong for the Dallas Cowboys. So many bad shotgun snaps from the rookie BB. I don't know. They're high, they're low, they're left, they're right. And yet, in the end, Cooper Rush is playing without his 2 best offensive linemen. He's playing without Zach Martin, a cinch first ballot Hall of Famer at right guard, and he's playing without Tyler Smith, who is the whole left side of the line, their best lineman as a younger player now. You're playing without both of them, and Cooper Rush manages, even though there were 2 of 11 on third down, that happened in large part because of 3 big drops. Cooper Rush manages 0 turnovers, only 1 sack. 0 turnovers and only 1 sack. That's how you win football games. You can call it game manager if you want. I just call it stability. I call it making the right play at the right time to win the game on the road at Washington. They were 7-4. We were 3-6. We're now, we're 3-7. We're now 4-7, which brings me to the closing schedule. Okay, look, is it possible with Cooper Rush at quarterback we could get on one hot roll? It's possible. We're that talented. If we can start to get some players healthy, if we can get the linemen back, if we get Brandon Cooks back, if we could get Jake Ferguson back. Remember, they didn't play, and Cooper Rush still did that. So we've got the Giants on Thanksgiving. Should we win? Sure, we should win the game. They quit on defense yesterday because the franchise pulled the plug on their franchise quarterback. No Daniel Jones. I admired them. I envied them because they were able to say, gone, out of here, because he doesn't cost that much to pull the plug on. We're stuck with Dak. So I don't really care about playing for a draft pick here, because if the draft pick were going to be a quarterback, you got me. But it's not going to be a quarterback because we're stuck with Dak, the highest paid player in football history. So the Giants are saying, well, what do we have to play for on defense? So they don't show up against Baker and company yesterday, and they're down 30-0 before you can say boo in New York. So here they come for Thanksgiving. We should win the game. And then we've got a little break, a little mini bye for Cincinnati at home. I already watched Cooper Rush beat Joe Burrow in a Sunday night game at home. This is a Monday night game at home. Could he beat him? Sure, he could beat him. Cincinnati struggles on defense. They're one of the worst in the league on defense. Sure, we could win that game. Then we go to Carolina. Sure, we could win that game. Then we got Baker and company, Tampa Bay, at home on a Sunday night. Could we win that game? They got Mike Evans back. Well, it'd be tough, but sure we could. Then we go to Philly. The only way we could win the game at Philly is if they're coasting. If they just keep winning, if they win their next game at Ravens and then they just keep winning, they got a very favorable home closing schedule. But we have the third easiest closing schedule in the NFC. So, I mean, is it possible we could go in there and upset them? We should have been leading at halftime, except the blinds weren't drawn. Remember the sun in CD's eyes? We should have been leading Philly at halftime at home. Cooper Rush threw what should have been a touchdown pass that CD lost in the sun at home, late afternoon, Jerry World. Way to go, Jerry. Congratulations. And then we finished with Washington at home. Could we beat? Sure we could. We managed to beat them yesterday. We played pretty well on defense. I liked our defense better without Trevon Diggs. He gambles, he clues, he jumps routes, gets beaten a lot. All of a sudden, we got Deron Bland back. All of a sudden, we got Josh Butler emerging on the other side. We got Jordan Lewis. We just looked better yesterday. Jaden Daniels had a hard time throwing against our defense. But the point is, in the end, what if we, I don't know, I'm flipping out. What if we won out? What if we got all the way to, wouldn't that be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We got 6 games left. I mean, could we get to 10-7? That'd be a playoff team. I was reading USA Today this morning, and they still have us as in the hunt for the playoffs at 4-7. I'm saying, in the hunt? How? But that's how, because we got an easy closing schedule. Okay. Could we get to 9-8 if we lost at Philly? Okay. Would that maybe slip us in the back door? Maybe. I had it as 8-9, but that was with Dak, because I don't trust Dak, but I do trust Cooper Rush. But in the end, I do not trust Mike McCarthy. And my worst nightmare would be having to go into next year with Dak Prescott at quarterback and Mike McCarthy back as the head coach, who did not have his team ready to play a game yesterday at Washington.